Remodeling a bathroom for a friend of mine. We're going to take the tub, remove that, also the commode, move that. And don't start a project like this unless you know what you're doing. I usually design it from the finished product backwards, that way you don't forget or leave out anything that you may be applying later on. This is the before. We're going to remove this fiberglass tub, move it to the left wall, take that wall out of there. First thing to do is remove all the fixtures on the tub, open it up. I use a fine blade on the Sawzall to cut, and do not cut unless you know what's behind the wall. Maybe piping, electrical, the usual. Pretty easy to cut these things out. It's a little bit of mess, a little bit of dust, but and that's the opening. Now we're going to take out the 2x4s, the plumbing, shut all the water off. Yeah, taking up the tile floor wasn't too bad. I left a lot of the thin set, the existing thin set there. Locating the drain for the tub for the different wall. Open up the hole. You don't have to chase the concrete all the way across. You can dig a hole underneath it and put the piping under. As long as there's a pitch on it, 1/4 inch per foot. That seems to work well. You can get your heights when the tub's in place, or you can take measurements. Measure, measure, measure. I got the PVC in position, tested the water, did pour some water down there to make sure it was flowing well. Changed some of the locations on the copper piping. I do not use PEX. As long as your measurements are true and everything fits. Where I cut out in the 2x4s there, I will put some nailer plates on that and my little helper there. Alright, got the tub in place. We started sheetrocking. We're just going to reskin the whole wall with 1/2 inch. And put the door rock up around the tub. Get the little end leg wall at the tub done. Get everything pretty well cleaned up in here. Put the header leg wall at the top for a glass partition. Used a piece of cream of Marfell granite here. In order to get the right height for the extruded metal around the glass frame, this particular size I use 4 sheetrock screws. Level, level, level. Double check your height, or it won't fit if you don't do this. Put the stone back in, and you can adjust it just a little bit at a time. Put the stone in, dry. Make sure it's right on. Glass is square. You're not going to be able to adjust that unless it's right in place. Try the extrusion clearances and tolerances. A little bit more of adjustment. Looks like it was up on the right a little bit. It should be good after that. Just check, check, check. That's all. Like measure twice and cut once. I get a little OCD with the level. Alright, a little bit of thin set on that, and basically just clean the top of your screws that you put in. I must have checked this thing about 10 times, but I wanted to be right on the money. Put it in. Make sure there's enough thin set at the base. And check it one more time. I have a clearance on the tub tile. I overhung that stone just a little bit more on the inside. Just don't press the stone too hard because it will crack. And try the frame one more time. You have a little wiggle room at the top because you can put the frame in and then use the joint compound just to fill in a little bit. But in this case, it went in well. I like to use a little Dawn on the finish coat in the joint compound. Mix it all up. Put about 4 or 5 squirts into the top end of it. Mix it up, and basically for your finish coat, it just comes out a lot cleaner. Sand some of the lines and feather it in, and then make sure you wipe the wall down or your paint's going to look like orange peel. And vacuum everything up and get it ready. Starting on tile floor, I usually do a dry layout in a small room like this, and this particular tile wasn't too bad. Do your pre-cuts after you have it in. On a small floor, I like to use a little white vinegar just to clean up and dress it up a little bit. Make sure your mastic and thin set are below the grout line. Now I'm going to get ready to grout it. Grout takes a little water, and you just want to make a paste out of it, not wet. The wetter it is, the weaker it is, and the lighter the color. After that's all done, you can either wash it with a sponge. This particular case, the tile, the grout, I just dry buffed it. Came out good, and then clean sponge bath after that. Back to the stone, I had a pre-drill for the extrusion for the header and the stone. Slid the glass in, make sure everything fit well, and that's the end product on that. And that's it for this first part.